It's time for high school softball on KDAO. Tonight's game is brought to you by Marshalltown Community College, GNB Bank, Hanson Family Hospital, Ellsworth Community College, Schmitz Construction. Now, high school softball on KDAO.
Welcome in, everybody, here to Radio on the Go Sports here with KDAO as we are set for this regional softball matchup tonight here in Green Mountain as GMG serve as the host tonight as they will host the AGWSR Cougars, a part of this first-round matchup here in regionals. Just kind of looking at the bracket real quick as this is in Class 1A, part of Region number 3. The winner of this matchup tonight will move on and make the trip over to Fort Dodge to take on St. Edmund up at Harlan Rogers Sports Complex. That will be on the 8th of July, which will be in 2 days' time on Wednesday. So best of luck to both teams tonight as we'll give you the starting lineups here real quick. We'll start with the visitors of AGWSR. Their starting lineups batting first tonight will be Lila Holmgard, the second baseman. Batting second will be center fielder number 15, Claire Culver. Batting third will be first baseman number 2, Callie Buseman. Batting fourth will be the catcher, number 4, Caitlin Drager. Batting fifth is pitching tonight, number 11, Kaysen Pfeiffer. Batting sixth is shortstop number 1, Cadence Brown. Batting seventh is left fielder number 13, Leah Bevins. Batting eighth is designated player number 25, Cammie Williams. And batting ninth is third baseman 18, Kelly Struck. And the flex spot is right field number 20, Joyica Ray. For GMG, their starting lineups tonight is batting first is the catcher number 10, Skylar Murdy. Batting second is third baseman number 3, Grace Mathern. Batting third is pitching tonight number 22, Rhea Bogie. Batting fourth is the designated player, I believe. Second baseman, I believe, number 2, Natalie Upa. Batting fifth is designated player number 19, Kaylee Beach. Sixth is center fielder number 17, Tatum Jones. Batting seventh is Rihanna Murdy, left fielder. Batting eighth is Piper Jones at second base, and batting ninth is shortstop Addison Elmore. And the flex spot is Hannah Peters over in right field. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll have the top of the first inning, give you some more stats, and take some other looks here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
Navigating mortgages can be very complex. Start your journey with the lending team at GMB Bank. We're committed to getting you to your next home. We offer both fixed rate and adjustable rate mortgages to fit your specific needs. Our experienced lenders help guide you through the process. You can make payments or receive customer service at your local GMB Bank office. Whatever your dream home looks like, we'll point you in the right direction at GMB Bank.
All Hanson Family Hospital clinics are now scheduling athletic sports physicals for middle, high school, and college students. This special is $38 for middle and high school students and $80 for college students if paid day of service. This special is not filed with insurance and payment must be at time of service to receive the discounted price. It does not include immunizations or any other services. Call your provider today to avoid the end of summer rush. Hanson Family Hospital and Clinics is healthcare you can count on.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Green Mountain, part of this regional first-round matchup here in high school softball. GMG serves as the host tonight, as they will be the home team, AGWSR the away team, so it will be the Cougars leading off and batting first at the top of the first inning. We were just with some AGWSR baseball the other day. I believe on Friday we were up in Fort Dodge, so if AGWSR wins here tonight, they will make the same trip as the boys team will tomorrow. They'll be playing tomorrow on Tuesday as the Cougars will be taking on St. Edmunds as well up at Harlan Rogers. As if the girls win here tonight, they'll make the trip on Wednesday. So back-to-back trips to Fort Dodge for Ackley potentially if they could win here tonight. GMG does come in as the slight favorite, obviously, here as the host of this site tonight here in Green Mountain. as GMG came in at 9-13, 7-9 in the conference record in the Iowa Star. AGWSR at 4-23, 2-10 in a very tough NICL conference. So, that's kind of a big aspect you would take into account here with AGWSR. That is probably a bit of a tougher conference play. So that does kind of accommodate a little bit more to the record. So just for GMG, they do come in as the favorite. They expect to win here tonight, but cannot take AGWSR lightly by any means a part of this contest here this evening. As head coaches are Lexi Farrell for GMG, head coach of AGWSR Brock Holmgard. As the pitchers tonight for GMG is Rhea Bogie, and the pitcher tonight for AGWSR is Kaysen Slifer, I believe. Yes, Kaysen. Obviously, could get confused a lot with Caitlin of sorts if you read it wrong potentially, but Kaysen Slifer, I believe, the starting pitcher tonight for AGWSR, but at the mound currently is Rhea Bogie. Leading off is Leela Holmgard, the second baseman, 386 average for Holmgard. Couple of pitches down and quickly becomes a 1-2 count. So just getting underway here. Thanks for tuning in here to Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube alongside KDAO. We have plenty of other matchups going to be happening tonight with us here at KDAO. We have a couple of others, part of our Radio on the Go family. We'll get to that here in a second after this at-bat of Leela Holmgard. Pitch was a little bit low and outside for ball 2. Rhea Bogie resets. She'll deliver. It's going to be down low off to the left for ball 3. They get a full count just leading off here tonight. Leela Holmgard, one of the better players for AGWSR, the leadoff hitter, 386 average for her on second base. She's going to put this one into play. That'll get through for a base hit and a good start here for the Cougars as she'll round over to first and stay put. And she'll get herself a leadoff single. And a good start here for AGWSR as Leela Holmgard will get the base hit. That'll bring up Claire Culver. Claire, center fielder, 287 average for Culver on the year, one of the senior leaders, a part of the Cougars. But as I mentioned before, we have some other broadcasts going to be streaming live to you. Tomorrow specifically, we have South Hardin or Sumner Fredericksburg, depending on the result tonight, will take on West Marshall over in Grundy Center. Also, we'll have, like I mentioned before, AGWSR back on the road to Fort Dodge to take on St. Edmund. And then down the line, we'll have AP or Hudson taking on Grundy Center. So I believe their matchup will potentially be, it's either tonight or tomorrow, is AP and Hudson for baseball. And also we'll have part of KLMJ, Riceville at North Butler coming up tomorrow as well. That AP Hudson potentially taking on Grundy Center. Or AP and Hudson potentially. One of those two teams will be taking on Grundy Center. That'll be tomorrow with 99 to wave. Claire Culver ends up striking out on that at-bat, as that will go for the first down. Here comes the first pitch for the at-bat of Buseman. She'll take the first pitch, and a steal attempt from first to second. She'll slide in safely, as that's Holmgard successfully stealing over to second base, putting her in scoring position. So one down after the strikeout of Claire Culver. This is Kelly Buseman, the first baseman, 3.11 average on the year. Pitch is going to be called too high for ball 2. Quick 2-0 count. AGWSR wants to get off to a good start here after their leadoff hitter of Holmgard, knocking down the lead-off single. Right past the shortstop and third baseman. Quick 3-0 count, favorable count here for Holmgard. Rio will reset. Takes a quick second. She'll deliver now. That's right down the middle for strike one as Buseman takes that pitch. Not a bad take, obviously. Just trying to see if she can get herself on base. Just getting underway here in Green Mountain. Just the top of the first inning. AGWSR runner in scoring position over on second base. That one's down the middle again, called for strike 2 as Buseman lays off. Full count pitch. Delivery again, swing and a miss for strike 3, and an excellent rebound there for Rhea Bogie. as she gets her second strikeout of the night. Back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff single will bring up Caitlin Drager. Drager is the catcher tonight, .360 average, one of the better hitters, a part of AGWSR. Takes that first pitch, gets called for ball one. Kaysen Slifer waiting on deck potentially for the Cougars with the runner on second and 2 outs. 1-0 count delivery. This one's going to get knocked into center field and has a chance. That will drop and hit the back fence. That will send the run home easily. And rounding over to second, she might think about taking off. Slips a little bit, runs back and slides in safely to second base. And that will give Caitlin Drager a RBI double and a good start here for AGWSR in this first inning. So that's an RBI double. AGWSR gets on the board here in the top of the first. So Caitlin Drager will be over on second base after the RBI double. This will bring up Kaysen Slifer. Kaysen, the starting pitcher tonight, comes in with a .324 average on the year, just a freshman for the Cougars. Of course, baseball, softball, very known to have 8th graders incorporated into the matchup. That will obviously be a norm going forward for all sports in the state of Iowa, as that's gotten recently passed. Football included, basketball, all of your kind of top sports, pretty much every sport involved will have the involvement of 8th graders going forward. Something we'll have to get kind of used to. Already very used to it in baseball and softball, obviously, but I think a lot of that, obviously the norm of baseball and softball being involved in the summertime. Iowa's actually the lone state to do that. I'm sure a lot of people do know that actually, but it is the only state where at the high school level, baseball, softball is competed in the summertime. It's going to be a high pitch for ball 3 in a 3-0 count, as Slifer has a good opportunity with the runner on second, 2 down after the leadoff single, back-to-back strikeouts, and then the RBI double sent in from Drager. She's sitting over at second base. That pitch will be right down the middle. This is a similar at-bat to the last strikeout of Callie Buseman. Got the 3-0 count, took the last 2 pitches, and swung at strike 3. We'll see if Slifer takes a chance at this pitch. She'll lay off. That's in the zone for strike 2. So very similar count here. Now up to a full count at 3-2. So a full count, Rio Bogey. She'll get set, deliver, swing and a miss for strike 3. And again, a very similar at-bat to Callie Buseman, as Kaysen will strike out, as that will have the 1 run off of the 2 hits from the leadoff single of Homeguard and the RBI double of Caitlin Drager. No infield errors and 1 left on with the runner over on second. GMG will have their first at-bats of the night with Skylar Murdy, Grace Mathern, and Rio Bogey. They'll have their guaranteed at-bats. We'll take a short break, back for the bottom of the first after this here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
When it comes to tiling and backhoe work, you want a company you can depend on to make sure the job is done right. Schmidt's Construction in Gladbrook has the equipment and experience to do a quality job for tiling, septic systems, waterline trenching, and other types of backhoe digging. Give Dave at Schmidt's Construction a call at 641-751-1578. Schmidt's Construction is a proud supporter of area athletics.
Bottom of the first coming up, AGWSR with the 1-0 lead after the top of the first. A good first inning for the Cougars. Had the leadoff single from Homeguard and then a RBI double from Caitlin Drager, giving the 1-0 lead to the Cougars. GMG will try to answer. They'll have their first at-bats of the night. They'll start off and leading off with Skylar Murdy, then Grace Mathern, and Rio Bogey will have their guaranteed at-bats. Skylar Murdy, the starting catcher tonight, .429 average for Murdy. Sophomore, number 10 for GMG. GMG, a solid squad, 9-13, 7-9 in the Iowa Star South Conference as their overall record. Heavy swing that time, goes for strike one. Starting pitcher tonight is Kason Slifer for AGWSR. 0-1 pitch, reaches low for that swing, goes for strike two. A nice pitch that time from Slifer. It's one of the biggest difference, obviously, with the game of baseball and softball. In the game of softball, you don't necessarily have a pitch count of sorts. You can roll with one pitcher the entirety of the season if you choose to do so, and that's going to be in the middle for strike three, as Murdy was caught looking, and a leadoff strikeout for Kason Slifer of AGWSR. That'll bring up Grace Mather, the third baseman. Mather, a freshman. Wearing the number 3 is a .204 average for Mather on the season. Takes the first pitch as it's called outside, I believe, for ball one. GMG, fairly young team, just the one starting senior in their lineup, which we'll get to down the line. Swing and a miss for strike two. A nice pitch there from Kason Slifer. Strike one, excuse me, on a 1-1 count. So 1-1 after the leadoff strikeout. Swing and a miss again for strike two, and some nice pitching here from Kason Slifer, making it difficult for the Wolverines to make some contact. Very quickly into a 1-2 count. Slifer will deliver. That's going to get called outside to the right for ball two. Rhea Bogey waiting on deck for GMG. Wolverines want to get somebody on base as quickly as they can. Match that run from AGWSR. Swing and a miss for strike three, and back-to-back strikeouts for AGWSR's pitcher of Kason Slifer. So Ryan Bogey, the starting pitcher tonight. Sophomore, number 22, .314 average for Ryan. First pitch is going to make contact, but it's often foul near the parking lot for strike one. So an 0-1 count after the foul ball. That is a swing and a miss for strike two. That'll make it an 0-2 count after the foul ball and a swing and a miss. Kason Slifer trying to make this 3 for 3 on an 0-2 count. That one's going to get away from Slifer a little bit. That'll go low for ball one. Count is a little bit off on the board, but the umpire obviously understands his count. It is a 1-2 count. One-two delivery, has to move out of the way for that one. That one again got away from Slifer a little bit. Close to making contact with the batter. Wait, what? How is it a 3-1 count? That one's going to get popped up in foul territory, and the catcher was under it, but ultimately goes down to the ground and will drop. That'll go for foul ball and strike two. So that'll make it a 3-2 count. I'm very confused because that first pitch was definitely for foul ball, and then it was a swing and a miss, so it should have been 2 strikes. It would be two strikes anyway now, but that is in the bottom zone for strike three. And that's 3 at-bats and 3 strikeouts for Kason Slifer, and a good pitching performance so far here in this first inning. So 3 up and 3 down, all on strikeouts. Goes for no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. It'll be 1-0 after one inning, as AGWSR on top of the second. Coming up, leading off will be Cadence Brown. Then we'll have Leah Bebbing and Kimmy Williams. They'll have their guaranteed at-bats. Let's take a short break. Back for the top of the second after this here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
Your 90s back on.
I want something else to get me through this. Yeah. I don't know.
92.9
KDAO FM.
Eldora, Marshalltown, and Grundy Center. Your 90s back on.
This is Rewind 93.
Rewind 93.
An on-the-go media station.
back here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube. Top of the second inning coming up, as you just saw on your screen there. Rewind 93 is the new branding of our radio station, a part of 92.9 FM. Now, I know just kind of, we're going to say this a lot at the beginning. We are kind of going by Rewind 93 now, part of 90s Classic Hits. On 92.9 FM is still the frequency that you will obviously tune into, but we'll more commonly go as Rewind 93 going forward. So just to try to avoid any confusion there, I know that can be a little bit of an adjustment going forward, but we'll still obviously bring you plenty of broadcasts as we are usually doing, as we speak right now, of course, with AGWSR on the road here, taking on the GMG Wolverines. Top of the second coming up, a 1-0 lead for the Cougars, and it was a hot start with the leadoff single of Lila Homeguard. Then the RBI double sent in from Caitlin Drager in the fourth at-bat of that first inning, and that ultimately was the end of the scoring, but a good 1-0 start. And you can tell very early on, this is going to be an interesting matchup. You know, GMG comes in as the host tonight and comes in as the slight favorite, but as I previously mentioned, there are two different conferences. You know, the NICL is a very tough conference. There's a lot of really good teams in baseball and softball, so sometimes those records can be a little bit misleading, especially once you get to playoffs. You know, things can be a little bit different. 4-23 for AGWSR, 2-10 in that conference. GMG at 9-13, 7-9. But sometimes that's not necessarily what you can base everything off of. Competition plays a big part in stats, especially in the game of softball and baseball. So this is going to be a very good contest tonight, as AGWSR has already started hot, and they'll look to continue here in the second inning. They definitely want to put the pressure on at the start of this matchup, especially here on the road in Green Mountain for tonight. This is Natalie Upa, as I can't read my own handwriting, actually. I believe that's first base is what I meant to write. So I believe Upa is over on first base tonight. Count is quickly at 2-1. That's going to go off the bat back behind the home plate for strike two on a foul ball. Yeah, count is 2-2. Whoever's running the scoreboard tonight apparently didn't get the memo that foul balls are strikes. So that'll go for ball three now. So now it is a full count at 3-2. Delivery, a swing and a miss for strike three, and a nice pitch there from Caitlin Slifer as Natalie Upa strikes out. Or sorry, I'm looking at the wrong stat sheet. I apologize. That is not Upa for AGWSR. That was Cadence Brown. I apologize about that. As Brown strikes out, this will be Leah Beving. So I had my stat sheets the other way around there for a quick second. So Cadence Brown, the shortstop, ends up striking out on the leadoff. This is Leah Beving, the left fielder. Junior for Beving, 234 average. That one's going to get called in the middle for strike one. That'll be a 1-1 count. Raya Bogey. She'll deliver right down the middle for a swing and a miss for strike two. It's going to be a good pitching battle tonight. It's already up to 4 strikeouts for Raya Bogey, and it was 3 up and 3 down, all on strikeouts for AGWSR's pitcher of Caitlin Slifer. A swing up high and a miss for strike two, as Leah Beving will strike out. So back-to-back strikeouts from Raya Bogey. This will bring up Cammie Williams, the designated player. 160 average for Williams. Wearing the number 25 is a junior. AGWSR wearing the all-purple uniforms tonight. Have the vertical white stripes, kind of pinstripes going down the jerseys. Have the green helmets as well. Numbers are the color black outlined in white. They're a little bit tough to see with the purple jerseys, but GMG wearing pretty much all black on the tops and bottoms, and the white numbers. They have the Wolverines on the front of the jerseys, and the numbers are in white, also with some pinstripes on the jerseys themselves, not the pants though. Pants are just all black, just the pinstripes on the jerseys. Count is quickly at 1-1. Cammie Williams, a designated player. Count is up to a 1-2 now, apologize. 1-2 count, swing and a miss for strike 3. And some really good pitching here displayed from both sides as Raya Bogey will have 3 up and 3 down on 3 strikeouts. Goes for no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. As GMG will have their next at-bats, they will have Natalie Upa, Kaylee Beach, and Tatum Jones will get their guaranteed at-bats. Take a short break. Back after this for the bottom of the second here on Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
Navigating mortgages can be very complex. Start your journey with the lending team at GMB Bank. We're committed to getting you to your next home. We offer both fixed rate and adjustable rate mortgages to fit your specific needs. Our experienced lenders help guide you through the process. You can make payments or receive customer service at your local GMB Bank office. Whatever your dream home looks like, we'll point you in the right direction at GMB Bank.
Bottom of the second inning, GMG getting their next at-bats. It is a 1-0 lead for the Cougars of AGWSR. Started off well on the offensive side. The leadoff single from the Cougars of Lila Homeguard and the RBI double of Caitlin Drager. Other than that, though, it has been all strikeouts in all the other at-bats for both sides. After that, it was 3 up and 3 down for GMG on 3 strikeouts. And then same thing for AGWSR in the top of the second, 3 up and 3 down, all going on strikeouts. Swing and a miss for strike 1 as Case and Slifer, starting pitcher, delivers. So quickly an 0-1 count. Swing and a miss again for strike 2. Oh, and 2 count. 0-2 delivery. That's going to be low. Bottom shelf for strike 3. And caught looking was Natalie Upa as she will strike out on the leadoff. This will bring up Kaylee Beach, designated player. 343 average for Beach. Kaylee, a sophomore, wearing number 19. Swings at that pitch. Goes high for a strike 1. GMG just trying to make some contact pretty consistently here. It's been a tough go for him at the top of the order. That gets popped up and back behind for foul ball. That'll go for strike 2. We'll see if the scoreboard gets this correctly. It does not. So no offense to whoever is running the scoreboard, but okay, there we go. We got a fix there. We're getting some adjustments. Previous foul balls have been called for balls, but that time it was initially called ball, then it was quickly changed and adjusted. As a swing and a miss there for strike 3, Kaylee Beach will strike out. So this is the first 5 at-bats, all strikeouts for Kaysen Slifer, and a good display of her at the pitching mound tonight. Goes back behind home plate. Got a piece of it for foul ball. Goes for strike 1. And I believe we're going to be on the same page from here on out on those foul balls, thankfully. Tatum Jones over in center field tonight. Freshman for the Wolverines. 212 average, wearing the number 17. 0-1 count. That one goes low. Almost hit the dirt, I believe, for ball 1. One and 1 count. Slifer back and delivers. That's going to be off to the left for ball 2. GMG yet to really put anything into play. Any contact made has been in foul ball territory. Nothing for the infield defense really to do so far. And there it is. That's one that's going to be just a slight ground ball, though, to the catcher. An easy play for Kaysen Slifer as her strikeout streak ends. But she will scoop that up, throw it over to first in adequate time for the third out, as that will go for no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. It is still 1-0 after 2 innings. Top of the third coming up with AGWSR. They'll lead off with Callie Struck. Then they will go back to the top of the order with Lila Homeguard and Claire Culver. They'll have their guaranteed at-bats at the top of the third inning. Back after this here on Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.
A wound that won't heal can slow your life down, but you don't have to face it alone. At Hanson Family Hospital's Wound Care Center, our specialized team of skilled clinicians provides the medical expertise needed to support the body's healing process, limit health complications, and speed up recovery time for non-healing wounds. With personalized treatment plans and compassionate care, we're focused on helping you heal and get back to what matters most. Call 641-323-2060 to schedule an appointment in Iowa Falls. Hanson Family Hospital is healthcare you can count on.
Welcome back here to Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube, part of KDAO, as we are set for the top of the third inning. It's still 1-0 lead from AGWSR. They've had the lone hits and runs tonight in the top of the third. They had the leadoff single from Lila Homeguard and the RBI double from Caitlin Drager. Those have been the only base hits tonight and the only girls on base. GMG yet to really put anything into play than just that last at-bat of Tatum Jones, which was an easy ground-out play for the starting pitcher of Kaysen Slifer. Other than that, it's been all strikeouts from Slifer of the defense of AGWSR. So Cougars will get their next at-bats with Callie Struck at the bottom of the order. As this is her first at-bat of the night, she'll take that pitch, goes for ball one, makes it a 1-1 count. Raya Bogie, the starting pitcher tonight, has had a good showing as well. She's up to 6 total strikeouts on the night. All outs have been strikeouts, but obviously those 2 hits as well have put the run on the board. But every out has been a strikeout, so Raya Bogie, with a good performance so far, wants to keep AGWSR off the bases and give the Wolverines a chance to quickly come back. Just a 1-0 game, still very much anybody's matchup so far. It is a 3-0 count, as the umpires indicated, differently from the scoreboard. So 3-0 is the count. Always go with the umpire, obviously. That one will be just a bit low. It'll be called for ball 4. That will put Callie Struck on base, and a good at-bat for Struck, especially at the bottom of the order, as this will bring up Lila Homeguard, the second baseman. Had the leadoff single, got things started off. She's the lone run of the night for either side on the 1-0 lead for the Cougars. Quickly into the box, she'll swing at the first pitch, goes for strike one, can't make contact. Nice pitch there from Raya Bogie. Has a runner on first after the leadoff walk of Callie Struck. 0-1 count, delivers, that'll be off to the left, but in the zone for strike two. Quickly down an 0-2 count for Lila Homeguard. Is the best hitter on the team, stat-wise, with a .386 average on the year. Homeguard will swing at that pitch again, goes for strike three, can't make contact. Nice at-bat for Raya Bogie at the pitcher's mound, as Lila will strike out. That'll go for the 7th strikeout of the night for Raya Bogie. This will bring up Claire Culver. I believe it's Culver. I'm going to double check that actually, because sometimes my handwriting can lead me askew of sorts. As that pitch is going to be in the zone again for strike two. Quickly in an 0-2 count, runner on first, still with just 1 out, so Cougars very much still in this, trying to get that runner home. Made contact, back off, and foul ball near the parking lot. Count will stay at 0-2. And yes, it is Claire Culver, just confirming that for you. Check that swing a little bit. It's in the outside the zone for ball one. .287 average for Culver. Has the runner on first, and heavy swing at that. Had to swing at that pitch. Can't make contact for strike three, as Culver will strike out. This will bring up Callie Buseman, the first baseman. She struck out in her last at-bat. Still has the runner on first. Steal attempt does not seem like it's going to be happening here for the Cougars. Buseman will knock that through. That'll be a base hit. That will put runners on first and second. A quick recovery there from the left fielder of GMG, as that was Rihanna Murdy. She'll quickly stop from any other runners advancing, but a nice solid base hit there from Callie Buseman. So that puts runners on first and second. This will bring up Caitlin Drager, as she had the RBI double in the first inning. So if anybody was to be at the plate that they feel confident in here in this early game so far, it would be Drager. 360 average for her. Drager's going to swing high at that pitch for strike 2. That one she kind of, you could tell, kind of knew she wanted to probably let that one go, as now quickly down into an 0-2 count. Big at bat here for Raya Bogie. She'll deliver, and another swing and miss for strike 3, as Raya Bogie has continued to make all the outs tonight be on her due of strikeouts. She has 9 total strikeouts now, going through 3 innings, but there is 3 base hits for AGWSR. The 1 hit in this inning, no runs though, 0 errors, and 2 left on, with the runners on first and second after the leadoff walk and then the single of Callie Buseman. GMG will have their next at-bats. They'll go 7, 8, 9 in their order with Rihanna Murdy, Piper Jones, and Addison Elmore. They'll have their guaranteed at-bats. We'll take a short break. Back for the bottom of the 3rd inning with GMG's at-bats after this here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube. Welcome back here to Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube. Bottom of the 3rd inning coming up. It's been a very low-scoring affair so far. Just the 1 run in the first inning. At the top of the first for the visitors of AGWSR. It was a solid start. Had the leadoff single from Lila Holmgard and the RBI double from Caitlin Drager, but that's really about it. 3rd inning had a chance. Had the leadoff walk from Callie Struck and a base hit from Callie Buseman, but ended up being another 3 strikeouts for the pitcher of GMG, of Raya Bogie, leaving AGWSR off the board in that 3rd inning. So just the 1-0 lead. GMG has only the 6 at-bats through 2 innings, so it's been 3 up and 3 down off of 5 strikeouts and 1 ground out to the pitcher of Kaysen Slifer in a very routine play. So not much challenge yet so far for GMG. They'll go 7, 8, 9 in this order. A light swing there. Maybe tried to pull that back. Did make contact, though, as it goes off for foul ball and strike 1. So 0-1 count. Slifer will reset. Another swing and a miss for strike 2. As Slifer's had a really nice day at the mound so far with 5 strikeouts and making the infield play with a throw over to first. So quickly to an 0-2 count. Oh, and that one got way away from Slifer that time. Thankfully no one on base, so really no consequence. Just the called ball for a 1-2 count. Really got away, went off way off to the right side on the back fence. 1-2 count. Slifer delivers. That'll be high, but a swing and a miss for strike 3 as Murdy will strike out. That'll bring up Piper Jones, the second baseman. 125 average for Jones. It's a freshman for the Wolverines, wearing the number 12. It is a fairly young squad for the Wolverines, just the 1 senior that we just saw with Rihanna Murdy, the left fielder. But other than that, it is actually, I believe, all sophomores and freshmen, but a ton of freshmen a part of this starting lineup, including Piper Jones, who's currently at bat, Addison Elmore, so freshman. You have Grace Mathern, Natalie Upa, Tatum Jones. They are all freshmen, and including the 8th grader in the flex spot of Hannah Peters, and a couple of sophomores. So lots and lots of underclassmen here for the Wolverines. That one is knocked off and foul ball. This will be calling for strike 2. So a 1-2 count for Piper Jones at the plate. Kaysen Slifer looking to keep this a 3 up and 3 down trend as long as she can, obviously. You can't necessarily expect that for the entirety of the game, obviously, but wants to keep this going with this nice pitching display and good defense so far of the Cougars, keeping the home favorites of the Wolverines scoreless and keeping them off the plates and off the bag so far tonight. As that one's going to hit the dirt for ball 3, make it a full count at a 3-2. Addison Elmore is waiting on deck for the Wolverines. That pitch is going to go off to the left side, hit the dirt for ball 4, and it will no longer be a 3 up and 3 down. Obviously discarding as if there is a potential double play, but this will be a walk for Piper Jones. So first runner on base tonight for the Wolverines of Piper Jones. After the walk, it'll bring up Addison Elmore. Best case scenario for the Cougars, looking for a double play potentially. That one's going to be called low for ball 1. So Addison Elmore, 155 average, is a shortstop. Also a freshman here for GMG. Ton of freshmen, as I mentioned. I believe 5 out of the 9 overall starters are freshmen. That one got a piece of it back behind home plate for strike 1. Yep, 5 out of the 9 starters are freshmen. 3 are sophomores, and the lone senior, Brianna Murdy. 1-1 count. Slifer will deliver, swing and a miss for strike 2. Kaysen Slifer trying to continue her nice pitching performance so far tonight. Count is 1-2 with the runner on first after the walk. So that's Piper Jones on first, waiting to go, and that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 3, as Kaysen will get her 7th strikeout on the night. We'll go back up to the top of the order now with Skylar Murdy. Skylar Murdy, 429 average, is the best offensive player, hitting wise, and showing it there. There's a nice knock into deep left field, and that will be gone. That's a 2-run homer for the GMG Wolverines, and Skylar Murdy, the starting catcher tonight, will deliver a 2-run shot and will take the lead for the Wolverines as they are up 2-1, and just like that, GMG back in control of this matchup as Skylar Murdy gets herself a home run here in the regionals. So that will send Piper Jones home along with Skylar Murdy herself as she knocked that deep into left field just past the scoreboard, and just like that, you can just see how quickly a game can flip, as this has been a nice performance defensive-wise and pitching-wise from Kaysen Slifer. Still lots to be done, but a 2-1 lead now for the hosts tonight of the GMG Wolverines. The first hit of the night ends up being a home run, and that's how quickly something like this can change. And there's a swing, goes back behind home plate for foul ball. So definitely the shift that GMG very much needed as they take the lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. This is Grace Mathern up to bat after the foul ball in 0-1 count. So Kaysen Slifer just trying to get back and reset, as that will get called for ball 1. That'll be called low. Count is 1-1 with 2 outs. No one on base, obviously, after the 2-run homer from Skylar Murdy. This is a 2-1 count. GWSR just trying to have some damage control. Have the 2 outs after the 2 strikeouts in this inning. That's going to be called high for ball 3. So it's up to a 3-1 count. Get at bat here for Grace Mather, and a good eye so far. One of the 5 freshmen in the starting lineup for the Wolverines. That one will get put into play, and it's off the glove of the first baseman. That will get through. And almost made the play was first baseman of Callie Buseman, but it will just kind of slide by. That will be recorded most likely as a base hit, as Grace Mathern will get on first. And that will set up Raya Bogey, the starting pitcher tonight. She struck out in her last at-bat, but has now the runner on first. Bogey will take that first pitch as it is in the zone for strike 1. Here's a deliver from Slifer. It'll be way too high for ball 1. But Raya Bogie at the plate. She is a pretty good player for GMG, obviously, as a starting pitcher. She's got a .314 average on the year. Just taking a little bit deeper of a look at some of her stats. She has 13 total RBIs on the year. She does have 1 home run to her name and has 11 doubles along with 10 singles. So actually more doubles than singles, which you don't see too often in either baseball or softball. 1-2 count. That one was just a little bit low. That could have maybe gone either way on a 2-2 count now. Has the runner on first. Is Raya Bogie looking to advance that runner and keep this inning going, trying to gain some momentum here now with the lead for the Wolverines. 2-2 count. That one's going to get popped up into shallow right field. Right fielder will call it out and will make the catch. Nice communication there from Joyica Ray as she'll make the grab, and that will retire the 3rd inning as Bogie will fly out into shallow right field. But a very good inning for the Wolverines. Just the 1 hit, but it is a big one on a 2-run homer from Skylar Murdy, as that will score 2 runs, no infield errors, and 1 left on as GMG takes the 2-1 lead as we go to the top of the 4th. We'll take a short break. Back for the top of the 4th inning after this here on Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.
When it comes to tiling and backhoe work, you want a company you can...
A bit. Very difficult for GMG to get off. Very difficult for GMG to get off to a good start. They were able to find a way, put some runs on the board, but still very much in this is the Cougars. Much in this is the Cougars. Leah will not show bunt this time. It's going to be right down the middle for strike 3 as she lays off. As Leah Beving will strike out. Some time is called. It will be a courtesy runner for the starting pitcher tonight of Kaysen Slifer. So this is going to be number 7 for the Cougars. This is going to be Austin Buseman, as if you potentially forgot or don't know, my name is Austin, as a more commonly known as a boy's name, obviously, but it is spelled commonly if it is a girl's name with a Y, so A-U-S-T-Y-N for Buseman, Austin Buseman. I have actually never personally met a girl with the same name as me as Austin. I have met many Austins with different spellings, though. I have seen Y, I've seen O, I've seen E. E is kind of the more common one. The correct one is I, of course, A-U-S-T-I-N. But I do understand the over on second base, taking over for the starting pitcher of Kaysen Slifer. That pitch is going to be called off to the right for ball 2. So Kami Williams, 2-1 count for her. Has that runner on second. That's going to be down the zone, bottom shelf for strike 2. Leah Beving ended up striking out. Tried to lay down another bunt to move her over to third base. Will stay a 2-2 count. So Kami Williams, the designated player, trying to make the most with the runners on base, and that will have to be a big emphasis tonight for AGWSR, as it is for all games, but especially this one tonight, coming in against a tough GMG squad. Swing and a miss for strike 3, as Kami will strike out, as this will go down for no runs off of no hits, no errors, and 1 left on after the leadoff walk of Kaysen Slifer, and leaves that base runner stranded over on second base. Bottom of the 4th coming up. GMG will lead off with Natalie Upa. They'll have Kaylee Beach and Tatum Jones. They'll have their next at-bats. They'll go 4, 5, 6 in the order to start off the bottom of the 4th. It's a 2-1 lead for GMG. We'll take a slight break. Back after this here on Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.
Your 90s back on.
I want something else to get me through this. Yeah, I don't know.
92.9.
KDAO FM.
Eldora, Marshalltown, and Grundy Center. Your 90s back on.
This is Rewind 93.
Rewind 93.
An on-the-go media station.
Welcome back here to Radio on the Go Sports. Apologies, I was making some slight adjustments to my equipment there if I was silent there for a few seconds. But bottom of the fourth inning, GMG has the 2-1 lead after a very good third inning. The 2-run home run shot for Skylar Murdy is the kind of the headline of the game so far, as it was ended up being 2 hits actually in that inning alone. Had Grace Mather and follow that up with a single. This one will get put into play. It's a light chopper to the starting pitcher of Kaysen Slifer on the first pitch, and an easy throw over to first base for the first out, as Natalie Upa will ground out to the pitcher of Kaysen Slifer. So quick first up and first down. It'll bring up Kaylee Beach, the designated player. She struck out in her last at-bat. Swings at the first pitch. Can't make contact for strike one. So Kaysen Slifer, I got to be honest, I don't think I've ever heard the first name Kaysen before. As that one is going to be put through. That'll be a base hit for Kaylee Beach. A nice at-bat there for GMG, and Kaylee Beach gets herself a single and puts herself on first base. But Kaysen, obviously, it takes a little bit of time to get used to. Once you get used to it, it's actually a very nice name, but it looks very similar to a lot of other names like Kaylee and Caitlin, so sometimes you can get, mentally you just have to kind of get over that block of saying the other ones. But Kaysen Slifer doing a nice job tonight at the mound, as that is a base hit though for GMG's Kaylee Beach, as she will be sitting over on first base. This is Tatum Jones. 0-1 count. Tatum Jones knocks this into center field. It will be caught from the center fielder. Runner will have to tag up back to first. Nice outfield play from AGWSR. That was the center fielder of Claire Culver as she makes the grab. So Tatum Jones, nice contact, but does ultimately fly out into center field. I'm going to bring up Rihanna Murdy. And I'm not completely sure about the pronunciation of Rihanna's name. It could be Rihanna. And obviously, Rihanna is very well known to famous singer, of course, Rihanna. But I believe even she goes by Rihanna technically. So I believe it's Rihanna Murdy, the left fielder. Has the runner on first with 2 down. Swing and a miss there for strike one. Bottom of the fourth inning. It's a 1-1 count. GMG, really only the 2-run homer has been shown on the offensive stat sheets thus far, but it is enough to have themselves with a 2-1 lead, looking to add potentially some more with 2 down and the runner on first. This is a 2-1 count. Rihanna will take that pitch. It goes low for ball 3. Makes it a 3-1 count. Big at bat here for Kaysen Slifer, trying to keep GMG out of scoring position. That will get called for ball 4, and a good take there from Rihanna Murdy as she will walk over to first. That will put runners on first and second with a runner in scoring position on second base. So very big at bat here for Piper Jones of GMG. She walked in her last at bat as well. First pitch goes just off the bat, back behind home plate for strike one on a foul ball. A 1-1 count as Kaysen resets. She'll deliver. That'll be too low for ball 1. One and 1 count. That one goes off the bat, foul ball, back behind home plate for strike 2. So Piper Jones up to a 1-2 count. Jones, the second baseman. One and 2 count. Kaysen delivers. It'll be off to the. Oh no! It'll get called for strike 3. It is a drop strike 3 that has to throw over to first, and was a little bit confused at first, but does hit. Oh no! That is a very, very tough call. And now they're going to send a runner home. And the umpire is having a really big discussion here with the coach of GMG as a runner comes home from third base, and we're having a discussion with GMG's coach and whether the runners were allowed to come home or not. There's kind of a stoppage in play here, so we're going to see if they're going to send that runner back to third base. Most likely they will, because there was going to be no umpire able to call the run home safe or not. So this seems like a very, very interesting kind of stoppage that we have here, as it was a drop strike 3. So it was a play had to be made over to first base for the out. So we're having a couple of chats here with the 2 umpires on the field, as the throw was over to first, and the first baseman did have the foot off the bag, so I think they are kind of discussing that that runner is going to be safe over on first base of Piper Jones after a swing and miss, but a drop strike 3. And it looked like AGWSR was not necessarily aware of the throw over to first, but also big other discussion. They did send a runner home from third, as having the runner safe on first loaded up the bases, but as the umpire was having a discussion with the coach of GMG over there near first base, they ended up having a runner come home in the process. They haven't officially scored that yet, and most likely I would imagine they're going to send that runner back, as there was no umpire at the plate to make that call, as kind of the whole play kind of stopped of sorts, and even the runner kind of hesitated to even come home and thought about going back, but then was kind of encouraged to finish her run home and to get on home plate. So we'll see what the official call is here. And yeah, they're going to bring both coaches over. They're going to have a discussion here on everything that's going to be set up, and won't be exactly clear to us spectators and myself, but once they get everybody kind of set and what the scoreboard's going to be, we'll kind of have a better understanding of everything that's going on. And I think they are going to take that. They're going to take that away from GMG. So they are going to actually rule that as an out on the drop strike 3. So it is going to be called for the third out. They are going to not have that run score, and in the process it is going to be officially just a strikeout, as the runner will not be able to reach on first base on the drop strike 3. So that will end the 4th inning in the process. A little bit of pushback, obviously, from GMG's side, but top of the 5th inning, and I really don't understand some of the scoreboard work tonight, as it still says it's the 4th inning. I think they're kind of a half inning off on the scoreboard here, but it is the top of the 5th, as AGWSR is leading off with Callie Struck. Swing and a miss called there for strike 1. This is strike 2, excuse me, on a 1-2 count. But Callie Struck, the third baseman, had the initial walk in her first at bat. I'm just kind of concerned about the scoreboard just for the spectators' point of view, for everybody here tonight, just kind of maybe thinking that this is the 4th inning versus the 5th, but it is the top of the 5th, as AGWSR, unless I totally skipped half inning, I don't believe I did. It is the top of the 5th. As got a piece of it, goes for foul ball. Keeps the count at 2-2. So leadoff hitting is Callie Struck, number 18, junior. 2-2 count. That one got away a little bit from Raya Bogie for ball 3. Kind of let go, I think, a little bit early that time. Didn't quite get all of it. Ends up being a full count. And a swing and a miss for strike 3, and Raya Bogie gets another strikeout on the night for GMG. That is the 11th strikeout of the night for Raya Bogie at the pitcher's mound this evening. As next up will be Lila Homeguard. We're back to the top of the order here for the Cougars. Homeguard started off the game well with a leadoff single. Checked that swing as it's too high and outside for ball 1. So up to a 1-1 count. Just a 1 out, no one on base. Homeguard, a left-handed batter for AGWSR. .386 average, is the statistically best hitter on the squad for AGWSR, as the leadoff hitter for the Cougars. Count is at 2-1. Remember, the winner of this matchup tonight will take the trip up to Fort Dodge to take on St. Edmund up at Harlan Rogers Complex. AGWSR baseball team is already making the trip and has already made that trip in their first round matchup, but they'll be going back to Fort Dodge tomorrow on Tuesday to take on St. Edmund as well. 3-1 count. That one's going to get called outside for ball 4, and home guard will take her base. And a good at-bat for Lila as she will get on base with the walk. This will be Claire Culver. Culver, the center fielder, struck out twice in this matchup so far, has now the runner on first. Culver, a .287 average over in center field tonight. Showing bunt. Runner's going to go anyway, even though the bunt was no good, and the runner is going to think about going to third. It was a little bit late. The throw over to third. She's going to be safe over on third base, even with the delayed reaction to that throw over to second, kind of going off the second baseman, as Lila Homeguard will be in prime scoring position on third. That second pitch is going to be just a bit low for ball 2. Time is going to be called here. I believe this is head coach of GMG having a brief meeting and did call the time. Lexi Farrell having a discussion with her starting pitcher of Raya Bogey. It's a big spot here, obviously. AGWSR in prime position to tie this game up with the runner on third any way they can. I don't think they're too concerned about keeping this inning going necessarily. Obviously, you're going to do everything you can to keep getting girls on base, but they are primarily concerned about getting that run home specifically over on third base. So I think a good timeout here from GMG just to strategize a little bit on what it's going to be like if they show bunt. And there it is. That is a bunt laid down, but it is back behind the plate and called for strike 2, I believe, on a foul ball. So they did show bunt. I think it's AGWSR is happy that was called for foul ball. That would have been laid down pretty much right in front of the catcher. That would not have sent home the run. And that's going to be knocked into center field. It is going to be dropped. That will send the runner home. She'll be home safe. And a tie game and a base hit for Claire Culver. About as best as you can ask for Culver on her at-bat, as she gets herself a base hit and an RBI in the process, and that ties the game up at 2 apiece. And AGWSR is very much in this game, as that will bring up Callie Buseman. Buseman struck out and has a base hit. She's going to stealing over to second base. Nice infield defense from GMG. Catcher of Skylar Murdy throwing over, I believe that was the second baseman covering, as that was Piper Jones tagging out the runner, going from first to second. So no one on base now for AGWSR. I think Culver won't be too upset. Obviously, she wanted to get over to second safely, but she was able to tie the matchup up with her at-bat with an RBI single after the walk of Lila Homeguard. Remember, Homeguard stole from second to third field, kind of took an awkward bounce, and that gave the opportunity for Homeguard to go make up for that a little bit, throwing over to second in adequate time and catching the runner going from first to second. That one's going to be a low pitch that'll get dropped into foul territory, as that will drop for strike 2. Makes the count 2-2. Callie Buseman, the first baseman. And a bit of a reset now here for AGWSR with 2 outs. Trying to see if they can keep this inning going potentially. We'll take anything they can get. That goes off the bat and back behind home plate for foul ball. Makes it a 2-2, or still at a 2-2 count. So the count will remain the same. That is a swing and a miss for AGWSR. It's been a low-scoring affair as the one run ties this game up after the lone hit from Claire Culver on the RBI single, but the walk of Lila Homeguard and the 2 steals in the process set her up to be in prime scoring position, as no infield errors and nobody left on as Culver was end up getting caught stealing after her single as well. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up for the Wolverines. They'll go 9-1-2 in their order. They'll have Addison Elmore, Skylar Murdy, and Grace Mathern with their next guaranteed at-bats. We'll take a short break. We'll come back for the bottom of the 5th inning back here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
Welcome back here to Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube along with KDAO. Hope you've been enjoying your Monday so far. Obviously, it's a big day today in the sports world. Have the U.S. men's national team competing later on tonight at 7 o'clock. As thankfully for me, I was very grateful to have this matchup start at 5 o'clock, as most likely we'll get out of here around, depends on how long the game goes. Obviously, if it's a tie game, we'll go into extra innings, maybe a little bit longer, but most likely we'll end around potentially 6:30, 6:40, around that range. And it's actually a pretty short drive from Marshalltown here in Green Mountain, so I'm very thankful I'll be able to watch pretty much all of the matchup. I might miss a few minutes or so, but for the most part, I'll be able to catch most of the U.S. men's national team in the round of 16 tonight. Very huge game. Very much looking forward to that. It's Addison Elmore leading off here as the shortstop. She's 9th in the order. She makes solid contact. It's into center field, but a nice and calm cover into center field for AGWSR, and makes the grab is Claire Culver as that goes for the first down. So Elmore will fly out into center field. That'll make us get back to the top of the order for GMG as Skylar Murdy, the leadoff hitter, will have her 3rd at-bat of the night. And obviously she's kind of been the big headline in this matchup so far. AGWSR able to kind of nullify that a little bit, tying this game back up, but she had the 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, giving GMG the 2-1 lead after the 1-0 start in the 1st inning for the Cougars. But Skylar Murdy just drilled that first pitch on her last at-bat deep into left field as it escaped the fence. So it was probably up to, the limit for the fence here in Green Mountain is 180 feet. Ooh, that was a line drive foul ball off to the right side. Goes over the fence for strike 2. But it was a deep drive, probably had a good distance behind it, so it was roughly 200 feet, maybe 195 or so in total distance. Center field is a 210-yard mark, but right and left field, 180 in fair territory is marked off on the fences. Count is at 2-2. That's going to be, a little bit high, but called for strike 3 as Murdy was caught looking as she will strike out. And a big strikeout there for Kaysen Slifer, as she obviously wants to avoid throwing things down the middle for Murdy after her 2-run home run shot, as this will bring up Grace Mathern. That's going to be a high pitch off the glove and drop, but goes for ball 1. Grace Mathern, the 3rd baseman, does have a base hit on the night, as that single actually followed up the home run from Skylar Murdy, but ended up not being able to come home. Swing and a miss there for strike 1, on a 1-1 count. Kaysen Slifer has had a really nice pitching performance tonight. Has definitely limited GMG so far in the evening. They've came in as the favorites, but it has been a very close contest, as kind of fully expected it would be. That goes for strike 2. So count is 1-2. 1-2 delivery. That'll be called way too high for ball 2. Two and two delivery. That one's going to get called low for ball 3. scoreboard is a little bit. Okay, umpire's going to say it's 2-2. That's okay. Well, I'll go with the umpire. What is the umpire? That is very confusing what the umpire just showed, because that goes for ball 4 like I expected, but the umpire just showed 2-2. But it was ball 4, so for whatever reason. So very confusing there. The scoreboard had it wrong, but then the umpire confirmed it was a 2-2 count, but then the next pitch goes for ball 4 and goes for the walk. So just a little miscommunication there from kind of both sides, but either way, it does go for a walk. That is going to get drilled into center field. Center fielder backing up and able to cover it and gets the catch. That goes for the third out, as Mathern did walk over to first, and Raya Bogie knocks that first pitch deep into center field, but nice cover from, I believe, of Culver as she makes the grab. That goes for the third out, as this inning will go for no runs off of no hits, no errors, and 1 left on after the walk of Grace Mathern. So that'll make it 2-2 after the 5th inning. A good inning itself for AGWSR with the walk and 2 stolen bases of Lila Holmgard, and she's able to get sent home after an RBI single from Claire Culver. As we move to the top of the 6th inning, AGWSR will lead off with Caitlin Drager. They'll have Kaysen Slifer and Cadence Brown. They'll go 4-5-6 into the order. We'll take a short break. We'll be back after this here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
Navigating mortgages can be very complex. Start your journey with the lending team at GMB Bank. We're committed to getting you to your next home. We offer both fixed rate and adjustable rate mortgages to fit your specific needs. Our experienced lenders help guide you through the process. You can make payments or receive customer service at your local GMB Bank office. Whatever your dream home looks like, we'll point you in the right direction at GMB Bank.
All Hanson Family Hospital clinics are now scheduling athletic sports physicals for middle, high school, and college students. This special is $38 for middle and high school students and $80 for college students if paid day of service. This special is not filed with insurance, and payment must be at time of service to receive the discounted price. It does not include immunizations or any other services. Call your provider today to avoid the end of summer rush. Hanson Family Hospital and Clinics is healthcare you can count on.
Coming out of the break, top of the 6th inning, as Caitlin Drager is able to put this one into play. It was scooped up, throw to first, but dropped by the first baseman, as an infield error will have Drager reach over to first base on the leadoff at bat. So Kaysen Slifer will get her 3rd at bat of the night with a runner on first after the infield error. So good start here for the Cougars. Top of the 6th inning, it's a tie game. Tied up at 2 apiece. Swing and a miss for strike 1 on an 0-1 count. Here's a delivery, swings heavy again, can't make contact for strike 2. Raya Bogie's had a really nice night at the mound. It's really been 2 great pitching performances leading to this kind of low-scoring affair so far tonight on a 2-2 game. Bogie delivers again down the middle, swing and miss for strike 3, as Kaysen Slifer will strike out. This will bring up Cadence Brown. Cadence Brown has the runner on first with just the 1 out after that strikeout. Delivery is going to be high for ball 1. Cadence Brown was able to lay down a sacrifice bunt, moving a runner into scoring position on second base. Ultimately ended up being stranded over at second, but that's kind of been her addition into the offense tonight. So that was popped up back behind the fence. Kind of had to make myself aware, making sure it wasn't coming down right on my head. So my headset is not serving as a dual-purpose helmet, so I had to be very much aware. 1-1 count with 1 down. Runner over on first for AGWSR. Definitely a big inning for the Cougars. Want to put a little bit of pressure on the Wolverines. I believe GMG is going to have a good batting order coming up in their next at-bats. as they'll kind of be at 4, 5, and 6 in their order. Same as AGWSR, actually. So they've kind of matched each other in terms of total at-bats tonight. 2-1 count. Check that swing. It's going to find it outside for ball 3, I believe. So count is 3-1. 3-1 count. Runner over on first. Runner is going to stay. It will go low, though, for ball 4, and that is going to be a walk for Cadence Brown. So that puts 2 runners on base, runners on first and second with just the 1 out. So AGWSR in a really nice spot. It's Leah Beving, the left fielder, .234 average for Beving. Struck out both times tonight. Just getting some calls here from head coach of Brock Homeguard. We'll see if a potential bunt is being laid down. Yep, bunt is going to be shown. It's going to knock it in front of the pitcher. It will force the throw over to first. It will be caught for the out, so the sacrifice bunt does its job of Leah Beving. So sacrifice bunt laid down from Beving moves runners into scoring position on second and third. Some time is called here from head coach of Brock Homeguard. I believe we might be seeing a potential, I think we're getting a pinch hitter, actually. So it is supposed to be Cammie Williams, but instead we are getting number 28, I believe, right? Yes, number 28 of AGWSR. So we'll get that for you here in just a quick second. This is Kelsey Cupper, I believe. Yes, Kelsey Cupper has the at-bat. So instead of Cammie Williams, Kelsey Cupper took that first pitch. It's in the zone for 0-1 count. Cupper, heavy swing, goes for strike 2. So a quick 0-2 count as Raya Bogie challenging Cupper, coming in for her first at-bat of the night, replacing Cammie Williams in this at-bat. Runners on second and third. Big at-bat here. Swing and miss for strike 3. A nice pitching there from Green Mountain Garwin's Raya Bogie. Or no, Raya, it is Raya. Raya Bogie as Kelsey Cupper will strike out in her first at-bat of the night. Leaves those runners stranded at second and third, so goes for no runs off of the no hits as well. Remember, it was a reach on error for Drager, a walk from Cadence Brown, and a sacrifice bunt, able to put runners at second and third. So the 1 infield error of Green Mountain Garwin and 2 left on for AGWSR as it remains a tie game, as the Cougars did leave a couple of runs off the board there. It does set up their order, though, going into that 7th inning, but we'll see what it is looking like once we get there, as GMG will have the bottom of the 6th. They'll have Natalie Upa, Kaylee Beach, and Tatum Jones with their next at-bats. Quick 30-second break. Back after this here on Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube. Welcome back here to Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube, as we're set for the bottom of the 6th inning. Very big inning, obviously, for the Wolverines, as it is a tie game. As it is tied up 2-2, they could put a lot of pressure, obviously, on AGWSR. If they can find at least 1 run, they would force the Cougars to tie or take the lead going into that top of the 7th inning. So this could potentially be the last at-bats of the night for GMG, but they would have to put at least 1 run on the board to apply that pressure. So big at-bats coming up, as Natalie Upa has is the leadoff hitter here for the bottom of the 6th, as this goes outside for ball 1. 1-0 count. Natalie will hold off again as it goes outside for ball 2. Outside to the left and a little bit low on that pitch. Kason Slifer has been the starting pitcher tonight. He's pitched a really nice game here for AGWSR. He's definitely not made it easy for the Wolverines here on their home diamond. That one is down the middle, gets called for strike 1 as Upa lays off. 2-1 count. That one off the bottom of the bat, back behind home plate for strike 2 on a foul ball. Two and 2 count. No one on base as the leadoff hitter for Natalie Upa of GMG will lay off that pitch. Does find the zone. Nicely done there from Kaysen Slifer. Has challenged the zone as Natalie lays off as she will strike out. It'll bring up Kaylee Beach, the designated player. Yes, it will still be Beach as she has struck out and does have a single on the night. Swings at that first pitch, goes for strike 1. GMG obviously wants to make the most of this inning. They want to put pressure on AGWSR at the top of the 7th. That pitch got way away from Kaysen Slifer. Held onto it a little bit long, I think, on her delivery and goes way too high, as it will be a 1-1 count. No one on base after the leadoff strikeout. Check that swing as it's outside to the left for ball 2. GMG just wants to get anybody home at any means necessary and at least have that pressure going into the 7th inning. Heavy swing and a miss goes high for strike 2. Nice pitching again here from Kaysen Slifer. They just want to get anybody on base, ideally with just that one out, so they have some options to try and move some girls into scoring position. That's going to be off the bat, back behind home plate for foul ball. Keeps the at-bat. So count is 2-2 with 1 out. Two and 2 count. That one's going to be called for strike 3, and it's a little high, but it's called for strike 3 as Kaylee Beach will strike out as she's caught looking. It's a little bit of a high pitch, but it gets called in the zone for strike 3. As this will bring up Tatum Jones. Jones, the center fielder. Back-to-back strikeouts. Jones knocks this into right field. That should be able to get down. It was in the glove of the right fielder, but dropped. She's going to round over to second. It'll be a close tag out. Makes the attempt. She'll get to second base, though. Tatum Jones will get herself a double. Nicely done from the center fielder of Tatum Jones. Back-to-back strikeouts, but just beams that first pitch deep into right field as the right fielder of AGWSR wasn't able to make the grab of Joyika Ray. It was in her glove, but just a bit out as she was reaching low for that, so it's hard to really credit her as an error potentially in the outfield. Remember, I always kind of say this for any game that I do. I am not the official stat keeper, so if you disagree with any error or hit or whatever kind of calls, as there's a lot in the game of softball, remember it is not going to be officially from me. So if you disagree of some sort, I know you can't actually see the matchup here tonight, but just kind of going forward, remember, I am not officially the stat keeper, just for my personal use, relaying information to you. So don't get too upset if I rule something as a hit that you don't necessarily agree with. Rihanna Murdy, the left fielder, is going to be next up to bat. There is a slight time call here, and this is definitely a good time for it if you're AGWSR, as the double from Tatum Jones puts a runner in scoring position. There is 2 outs, so sacrifice not in play, but a base hit would most likely be able to at least give the chance of Tatum Jones being able to come home for the Wolverines. So a very big at-bat for Rihanna Murdy. The left fielder is the lone senior, a part of the starting lineup, and I believe the lone upperclassman of a junior or senior. No other juniors and just the lone senior a part of this GMG squad, so can't really ask for anything better. This is the senior leader of this squad of Rihanna Murdy. She walked in her last at-bat and has struck out, so she needs a base hit here and needs to get on base to put some pressure on the Cougars. Oh, and that's going to be in the dirt. That will hit the batter of Murdy, so she'll walk over to first. That hit the dirt before it hit her, but still hits her in the process, as she was still in her batting stance and didn't really move into it or any kind of vice versa to rule that as not a hit by the pitch. So that will be a walk This will bring up Piper Jones, not to be confused with Tatum Jones, who knocked in that double. So Piper Jones, the second baseman, she had the walk and strikeout in her 2 at-bats of the night. First pitch gets called for strike 1. That pitch is going to be high for, oh no, it's called for strike 2. That one's in the zone for strike 2. And just kind of looking at the 2 players of Piper Jones and Tatum Jones, I do believe that they are twins. Just kind of eye testing that personally by myself. They are both freshmen. That one's going to be put into play. It's going to be a ground ball to the third baseman. Throw over to first will be in time and will leave GMG scoreless in this 6th inning. Nice infield defense from AGWSR as Piper Jones will ground out. And AGWSR will have a chance to apply a lot of pressure on the Wolverines in the top of the 7th inning as they will lead off with their 9th batter of Callie Struck, and then go right back up to the top of the order with Lila Holmgard and Claire Culver. They'll have some guaranteed at-bats as it is a tie game going into the 7th inning at 2 apiece. We'll take a quick break. Back after this here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
When it comes to tiling and backhoe work, you want a company you can depend on to make sure the job is done right. Schmidt's Construction in Gladbrook has the equipment and experience to do a quality job for tiling, septic systems, waterline trenching, and other types of backhoe digging. Give Dave at Schmidt's Construction a call at 641-751-1578. Schmidt's Construction is a proud supporter of area athletics.
Your 90s back on.
I want something else to get me through this. Yeah. I don't know.
92.9.
KDAO FM.
Eldora, Marshalltown, and Grundy Center. Your 90s back on.
This is Rewind 93.
Rewind 93.
An on-the-go media station.
Top of the 7th inning coming up here in Green Mountain, a part of this regional first-round matchup. It is AGWSR tied up with GMG as that foul ball went right at my face. Thankfully, there's a big, nice fence here protecting my mouth. All my teeth would have been knocked out on a 0-1 count after the foul ball. This is Callie Struck leading off, the third baseman for AGWSR. Takes that pitch, but it's in the zone, bottom shelf for strike 2. Struck had a walk in that 3rd inning, and it was an important walk. Or actually, no, that actually wasn't the one that scored the run, my bad. But did have a setup of sorts, as that was the same situation in that 3rd inning. She had the leadoff walk and was able to set up some potential scoring. So looking to do the same here and hoping for a different result. 1-2 pitch. That one got away from pitcher of Raya Bogie. Goes off for ball 2. So a 2-2 count. Top of the 7th inning. So AGWSR wants to apply some pressure on GMG going into the bottom of the 7th. Otherwise, the Wolverines could walk off with just a 1 run coming home. That'll be too high for ball 3. So a full count here for Callie Struck. And she just wants to get on base any way she can, whether it's a walk, a hit, doesn't matter. She wants to get on base and try to set up AGWSR to take the lead. This will be down the middle, swing and a miss for strike 3. Good at bat, though, for Callie Struck. Definitely gave the challenge to Raya Bogie. Ultimately will strike out as Lila Holmgard. Lila has a leadoff single. She has, I believe, all runs on the night for AGWSR. She does have the 2 runs. First pitch, she'll lay off. It's in the zone for strike 1. But she had the leadoff single. She was sent home from Caitlin Drager on the RBI double, and then she was able to get on base with the walk. Had the 2 base steals and was sent home from Claire Culver. So she would ideally be the girl to have on base any way you can to get sent home. She takes those first 2 pitches. They are in the zone for the first 2 strikes on an 0-2 count. So Raya Bogie challenging that zone heavy here, daring Lila Holmgard to put this into play. 0-2 count. That one got very much away from Raya Bogie. Good cover there from the catcher, though. Would have been no consequence with no one on base, but either way, a 1-2 count. Brian Bogey back and set. She'll deliver. That'll be in the zone. That'll be a line drive to the shortstop, but dropped, and it will go down and puts the runner on base of Lila Homegar. That is an important error from the infield of GMG. So Lila Homeguard will get on base from the infield error. That was a line drive to the shortstop of the Wolverines. That was shortstop of Addison Elmore. It was in her glove, but just a little bit off to her right, and ultimately kind of slipped through a bit and does drop and puts the go-ahead run of Lila Homeguard on first base with one out. This is Claire Culver. We'll see if there is a steal attempt coming in, and there she will go. Homeguard trying to slide into second safely. I believe she got there, and she will be called safe. So Lila Homeguard nicely steals over to second, puts herself into scoring position with one out. Important steal there as Claire Culver count is 2-0. That pitch is going to be called for ball 3 as it'll be low and to the right. 3-0 count. Claire Culver, one of the better players for AGWSR, had the RBI single in this game. She'll take a swing at this pitch, goes off and foul. Back behind home plate for strike one. It's a tough spot here for AGWSR because on a 3-1 count, you do want to kind of put this into play. You don't necessarily want to settle for the walk. That's going to be a high pitch, though, and can't swing at that one. So we'll take the base as Claire Culver will walk over to first. It's not the worst thing in the world, though, if you're GMG either. Have a force out on every bag except home plate. So you could have a double play set up here, as this is Callie Buseman. Does have a single in this game, has a base hit. She takes the first pitch, it's in the zone for strike one. But it puts a lot of added pressure here on Raya Bogey because any wild pitch would put runners most likely over in second and third. Mistakes can be a lot more costly here. Heavy swing for strike two, can't make contact. Caitlin Drager is waiting on deck for AGWSR. We'll see what she will potentially have, or if she will see this at-bat with runners on first and second. So 0-2 count. Buseman, oh, it goes low. That's a drop, strike three. Runners do have to advance. And runner will be not called safe on first, as it was a drop, strike three. Runners do advance, though. And they'll say that she might have made the tag, I'm not sure, but it will be a strike for Callie Buseman. So runners will be on second and third. Sacrifice not in play. This is Caitlin Drager. She has an RBI double in that first inning. She reached on an error in her last at-bat. Any reach of any sort would most likely send the run home, obviously, so can't really rely on a bunt, so this is just kind of your standard at-bat. Want to put this into play and at least give yourself a chance to put that pressure on GMG going into the bottom of the seventh. You can tell Lila Homeguard very much itching just to come home and give the lead to AGWSR. That pitch went into the dirt and does go for ball three, and luckily it's straight on and it can be easily covered from the catcher. So it does not go wild. This is a 3-0 count. Drager will take that pitch. It's going to be bottom shelf, calling for ball one. Three and one count. Caitlin Drager just trying to put this into play, get a base hit, see if you can send home more than one run, but she will take that pitch. It'll hit the dirt for ball four, and Drager will take her base over to first. That will load up the bases. This will be Kaysen Slifer, the starting pitcher tonight. Slifer with a .324 average, does not have a hit tonight, does have a walk. her first hit of the night would be a big one as that gets called for ball one. It's also a lot of added pressure here for Raya Bogie. A walk obviously would send home the run and would give AGWSR the lead. GMG will have their chance at the bottom of the 7th, but they want to avoid sending home a run at all costs necessary. That's going to get popped up into shallow right field. That may drop. That'll drop. That'll get one run home. Another run's coming home, and that'll be up to a 4-2 lead. A runner's going to go over to third, and the runner's safe. That's a 2 RBI single from Kaysen Slifer, and it gives AGWSR a big, big lead going into the bottom of the 7th as they doubled their score. As that didn't quite get all of it from Kaysen Slifer, but it was enough to drop into kind of hugging that first base line into right field, and ultimately did drop for the base hit. It wasn't a drop ball or anything, just kind of in that dead man zone over into shallow right field and off to the third base line as Slifer is able to get the 2 runs home on a 2 RBI single. She does steal over to second as well with no real challenge from the infield. Obviously, they are wanting to keep that runner over on third. So now it puts runners on second and third. This is Cadence Brown. The shortstop takes a heavy swing at that one. It goes for strike 3 as Cadence Brown will strike out, but the job is done for AGWSR. That was a 2 RBI single from Kaysen Slifer as she sends home Lila Homeguard and Claire Culver for a 4-2 lead. So this goes for 2 runs off of the 1 hit, the 2 RBI single, 1 infield error on Homeguard's reach, and ends up being 2 left on in the top of the 7th inning. Bottom of the 7th coming up, GMG must tie or walk off to keep this game going or end it with a victory for them. So ton of pressure on the Wolverines. That'll be Addison Elmore leading off. They'll go 9-1-2 in their order. So Elmore leads off, and they're back to the top of the order of Skylar Murdy, Grace Mathern. They'll have some guaranteed at-bats, and they'll want to have probably more than that to keep this game going here tonight. We'll take a short break. Back for the bottom of the 7th here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
Bottom of the 7th coming up here on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube, along with KDAO. Remember, we are officially Rewind 93 with us here at KDAO. Obviously, still bringing you plenty of sports. We'll still continue doing that. I know we're kind of going through some changes here at KDAO, but the sports aspect of it, really not much changing. That's all going to be kind of the same thing. Obviously, we've been making the adjustment more to YouTube as the season has gone along, so hope you guys have enjoyed that experience and are enjoying your Monday. This is a ultimate big bottom of the 7th, a 2-run lead for the Cougars. GMG must tie or potentially walk off with the win here tonight in Green Mountain to keep their playoff hopes alive. This is a 2-0 count right off the gate. Still Kaysen Slifer. This is Addison Elmore, the leadoff hitter in this bottom of the 7th. We'll go back up to the top of the order of Skylar Murdy. That is down the middle, swing and a miss for strike 1 on a 2-1 count. And you know, this isn't necessarily a huge surprise here from AGWSR. I kind of mentioned at the top of this broadcast, you know, AGWSR as this, off the bat into the face mask of the umpire. That's why they wear them, as he's all right for that for to be foul ball, as that will be a 2-2 count, I believe. But as we have some time here, like I mentioned, you know, AGWSR came in with a 4-23 record, 2-10 in their conference in the NICL. But you have to keep in mind, the North Iowa Cedar League, the NICL is a tough conference. There's a lot of really good teams in the North Iowa Cedar League, whether you're talking baseball or softball. So AGWSR, they've had a lot of really good teams that they've gone up against all year. And GMG has had, you know, they have the better record. They're a part of the Iowa Stars, 7-9 in the Iowa Star, 9-13. So on paper, if you look at the record, you might think This may be more favored towards GMG, and still, kind of is, but AGWSR, it's not a big surprise. They're playing well here tonight and are giving GMG a bit of trouble. That does go for strike 3 as Addison Elmore caught looking for the first out as Elmore strikes out. We're back to the top of the order here for GMG. This would be Skylar Murdy. She had the 2-run home run shot to give the lone 2 runs of the game so far for GMG. Other than that, it hasn't been much offense for the Wolverines tonight, and it's a lot due to the pitching here of Kaysen Slifer. She's made it very difficult for GMG to find some consistency in their offense, as this is a 1-1 count. It was a heavy swing and miss that time. You can imagine that is going to get knocked into center field. Center fielder backing up. Is that gone? It will drop. It's back on the fence. It will stay in play. Throw back over to second. That'll be a stand-up double for Skylar Murdy. And there you go. Murdy does her job, puts herself on second base, and GMG definitely has life now, as Grace Mathern will be next up to bat. She does have a base hit on the night. She has also walked as well. A base hit could potentially score a run home. They're going to need more than one, though. Here's a laid down bunt. It's going to be scooped up from the third baseman. A little bit of trouble with it. Throw over to first is going to be out, as she'll get called out. Sacrifice bunt does its job, but that's a tough call to lay down a sacrifice bunt when you need 2 runs versus 1, as that's 2 called outs, and will bring up Raya Bogie. She has flown out twice tonight. I will say she's made some good contact on 2 of her at-bats. She's going to knock this into center field. Center fielder under it and makes the grab, and that will be it. That's the 3rd out, and it'll be a 4-2 win tonight for the AGWSR Cougars as Raya Bogie flies out into center field, and AGWSR gets the win here tonight on the road in Green Mountain and will continue here in this regional tournament. They will make the trip over to Fort Dodge to 2 days' time on Wednesday. AGWSR fans, you got 2 trips to Fort Dodge to look forward to. And if you've already made the first trip on Friday, Fort Dodge becoming a little bit of a second home for you, a part of this playoff run for baseball, softball. So congrats to AGWSR, a big win for the Cougars here tonight as they win here on the road in Green Mountain against GMG. We'll take a short break. We'll be back after this and wrap this all up for you here in Green Mountain on Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube.
Navigating mortgages can be very complex. Start your journey with the lending team at GMB Bank. We're committed to getting you to your next home. We offer both fixed rate and adjustable rate mortgages to fit your specific needs. Our experienced lenders help guide you through the process. You can make payments or receive customer service at your local GMB Bank office. Whatever your dream home looks like, we'll point you in the right direction at GMB Bank.
Well, welcome back here to Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube. A final score of 4-2 tonight as AGWSR gets the win on the road, taking on Green Mountain Garwin here in Green Mountain. Congrats to the AGWSR Cougars softball team as they advance to Wednesday. They will take on Fort Dodge. They'll be in Fort Dodge. They'll take on St. Edmund Catholic School, which is based out of Fort Dodge, of course. I am already making the trip to Fort Dodge tomorrow to cover AGWSR baseball. So Cougars fans are getting real accustomed to heading up to Fort Dodge. They already made the trip there Friday. I was there Friday covering AGWSR baseball. I'll be back tomorrow in Fort Dodge for AGWSR baseball. I don't know if I'm going to be making the trip again Wednesday. I'm sure we will make the trip. I don't know if it's going to be me, though. That's 3 trips to Fort Dodge in 5 days. I don't know if my car wants to necessarily handle that. So we'll figure out who will be making that trip. But congrats, of course, to AGWSR tonight as they make the trip to Fort Dodge coming up on Wednesday. Just kind of taking a quick look at the bracket once I get it pulled up for you, as St. Edmund is the top seed, a part of this bracket here in region number 3. So AGWSR will take on St. Edmund, as I mentioned, on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, and that will be the time. Is it Wednesday, actually? Yeah, the 8th. It will be Wednesday for AGWSR. And on the other side of this bracket is North Mahaska and Colonesco. They have yet to take the field. North Mahaska will be considered the heavy favorite coming into that matchup against Colonesco. Whoever wins that game will take on Collins Maxwell. in the regional quarterfinal matchup. Then the winner of St. Edmunds AGWSR, then Collins Maxwell, most likely North Mahaska, could be Colonesco, will face off again potentially at Fort Dodge at Harlan Rogers, but that, of course, is with the anticipation that St. Edmund would potentially win that game. So we'll see what AGWSR can bring to St. Edmunds Catholic School up in Fort Dodge at Harlan Rogers Complex. Obviously, Harlan Rogers, home of state softball for many years, as it is a beautiful facility up there. I actually lived in Fort Dodge for a couple of years, going to Iowa Central Community College, so it's always nice to kind of make the trip back there from time to time, as I will be back there tomorrow. So AGWSR fans, make sure to tune in to some Cougar baseball tomorrow on Tuesday, as AGWSR will also be facing St. Edmund Catholic School in baseball and now softball. So congrats to the Cougars tonight on their 4-2 win. This game was, it was a very interesting one. I mean, this was a low-scoring affair. AGWSR started hot with the leadoff single. Then you had the RBI double. Homegrid had the leadoff single. Then Caitlin Drager had the RBI double. Then it was scoreless for AGWSR and GMG up until the third inning, bottom of the third. GMG able to knock down the 2-run homer after the walk of Piper Jones, and she comes along for the ride as Skylar Murdy knocked it deep into left field and past the fence for a 2-run home run shot. But other than that, not much scoring was able to immense for GMG. They had a couple of hits. They had a single in the 4th inning, had the double in the 6th, and again a double in the 7th inning, but weren't able to get anybody home and close the deal. As the 7th inning, it had the leadoff strikeout, then it had the double, then a sacrifice bunt was made. I think they were very much anticipating and hoping they could get her on base as well, with Grace Mathern laying down that bunt, but ends up getting called out at first, and that kind of really made a little bit of trouble for him. Obviously, with 2 outs and only a runner on third, they needed 2 runs, so it was kind of a tough hill to climb from that point on, and ends up flying out in their next at-bat, and that ultimately ends the matchup. But to take that lead, AGWSR in the top of the 7th put on a bunch of pressure with the reach-on error of Lila Homeguard. Then the walk of Claire Culver, another walk of Caitlin Drager, and that set up the 2 RBI single of Kaysen Slifer, the starting pitcher tonight, and ends up being the responsibility of the 2 runs coming home on her 2 RBI single, knocked into kind of shallow to middle of right field, but ends up kind of dropping in that dead zone and sends home the run, put the pressure on GMG, and AGWSR will be walking away as the victors here tonight on the road, completing this upset victory. So congrats again to AGWSR. Remember, they will be playing on Wednesday against St. Edmund up at Harlan Rogers in Fort Dodge. I'm Austin Johansson saying good night here from Green Mountain on a AGWSR 4-2 victory. Make sure to tune in with us later on here at KDAO for some more high school regional softball. We got some more matchups for you, and make sure to be tuning into our sister stations of KLMJ and 99 The Wave, as we'll have plenty of baseball, softball throughout the rest of districts and regionals for baseball and softball. But I'm Austin Johansson saying goodnight here from Green Mountain on Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.
Tonight's game was made possible by GNB Bank, Hanson Family Hospital, Ellsworth Community College, Marshalltown Community College, Schmitz Construction. This has been a special sports presentation of KDAO.